Well, hello friends, my name's Antonio, and welcome to Back at the Ranch. Back at camp, back at the ranch. We got another review for you. You guys already clicked on the thumbnail. You know exactly what you're here for, and that is the Moultrie Pro Hunter 3. And this is the directional feeder option. There are two options on this. One of them is a directional, and the other one is just a broadcast feeder. And there's a reason I went for directional. I'll talk about that in a second. Let's do an unboxing. So this unboxing is going to be pretty straightforward. Not a lot to say about what's in the box, but there is a cool feature about this that I liked and why I acquired these. This is actually the second one that we get for the ranch. And the reason for it is this right here. So you've got these little brackets, which I will show you exactly where those go in just a second. That's pretty much all that's in it. So you got the feeder, you have an adapter, you do have some mounting hardware here, and a couple of plastic bags. So here's the special thing that I personally like about this feeder is it has the quick disconnect, which is difficult to do without it being mounted, but that's good because you don't want this thing falling off your feeder. But this is the piece right here that caught my eye. Talk about that in a second. This feeder is compatible with all Moultrie quick disconnect feeders. I forget what the quick system is called, but basically any feeder that accepts this type of bracket. And you guys know that I've got a couple of those on the ranch, and one of them did break, so we had to like screw it because the plastic was over 3 years old. So eventually plastic is going to give out. I don't care what brand it is, it's going to happen. But this pretty much just goes in, twist, and it locks in place. That's what this is. This is going to be your adapter so that you can put this on here. But the cool thing about this is that you can actually put this on any feeder. It does not have to be a Moultrie feeder. So you snap these on right here, take some self-tapping screws, put them right there, and tap that right up to your feeder, and you're ready to mount on any feeder. And I've done exactly that, and I'm going to show you exactly and I'm going to show you how I installed mine and where it's at. But before we do that, cool thing about this one is it does have a latch, which I really like this as compared to the other ones where you would have to unscrew from the bottom and take off a cap. It's kind of a pain in the butt. This one you just undo the latch, it's going to pop right open, and you've got your timer right here, which is very, very easy to set up. We'll walk through that in a bit. You do have your connectors right here for your battery. You do have access port for a solar panel as well. Solar panels not included. You would have to purchase that separately. And that's it. It's pretty straightforward. Now, one of the other cool features about this, which I have not set up yet, but we're going to do today, is you'll notice there's a barcode in here. This actually has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth capabilities where you can set everything on the timer remotely. And you can actually trigger the feeder as well. So if you're in your blind and you want to set that feeder to go off before the time or after the time, just to try to attract a little bit more game into the area, use your app. And we will talk about that shortly using the Moultrie app. So let's head over to the feeder where I've got this currently installed and show you how it works. All right, so we made it over to the feeder where I have this Moultrie motor installed. And as you can see, one of my screws didn't hold. That's not the problem with this product. That's the problem with my old drum here. It's really rusted, so I need to get a thicker screw. That one fell into the dirt. I couldn't find it, so I just left it as is. The other two seem to be holding fine. It did not come with self-tapping screws though. It comes with nut and bolt, so you would have to install that from the inside. I suggest that you get yourself some good quality self-tapping screws and just do what I did. I'm not going to pull this off to show you how it goes off and on because this is full of feed right now. That is solid. But let's look at the features real quick. So again, opening right there. Notice that the screen is off, but if we hit the set button, that screen will come on. Time says 10:03. That is correct. I've got 10:04 on my watch. And if we use the up and down arrows, it'll cycle you through your timer. So I've got one at 7 in the morning, running for 10 seconds. Running on low. Got one for 7 in the evening, running for 10 seconds. Also on low, and does have low, medium, and high speeds. And then you're gonna have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Total of 10 different feed times that you can set up. I only use 2 because I typically hunt morning and evening. In the afternoon, we give the animals a rest. But you notice it does give you a battery indicator as well. And you have the test option. So to set this, I'm going to go back to that first one. Oh, I'm going to go up to, well, let's go back. So when we are on the time, if you want to reset the time, you just hit set and either up or down, and you can set your time. So I'll jump that forward since my watch is a little ahead. Hit set once again. Now we go up to get to the first feeder. Hit set, and I can change the time, which I'm going to leave it at 7. Hit set again. That brings you to, excuse me. Hit set again to set the time. Hit the up arrow, brings you to your run time. Hit set, and you can change your run time up or down as you see fit. Hit set again, it keeps it up. Now you got your low, medium, high. Hit set, and you can go from low, medium, and high. And I have not run this on high yet. I'm very curious to see how well it'll do. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave that on high. Bring my timer down to, we'll say 5 seconds. Because when it's on high, it is going to spit more feed out. And I'm going to do the same thing to the second one, which is right there. Bring that down to 5 seconds. Set. Run that up to high. Set. And let's run a test. Let's see how far it spits. Oh, I can't close that yet. So by the way, you'll notice this sendero is pretty wide, but we drive down this with a vehicle, so it didn't make sense to put the feeder dead center. It's off to the side, right up against the brush. And that's why I got a directional feeder. You'll notice that the ground here is disturbed. The feeder is spraying in this direction, but this is what you got right here. So that is your directional spout. Let's run the test and see how far it sprays on high, which I actually have not done. So here we go. Test, counting down from 10 seconds. And let's check it out right there. So that's a pretty decent spray for 5 seconds. We've got feed all the way past half the road. So the last kernel I see is actually right here. So that's quite a ways from the feeder. You'll notice I am very close to the brush. But you may have also noticed that most of it fell probably about 5 to 8 feet in front of the feeder. And some of it actually sprayed over into the brush area behind this cactus. That's not a bad thing on the feeder. That just means that I need to adjust where the feeder's at. Probably need to bring it out a couple of feet and twist it a bit so I can have it spray more in this general direction, whereas right now it's in this general direction. So that's the reason I got a directional feeder. By the way, I do plan on putting another one way down at the end over there. That's about 170 yards. I have another feeder down on that way. So we got the blind, able to shoot that way, able to shoot this way. And there's another sendero, another one that goes this way. It's kind of a Y shape here, if you will. So that is the Moultrie Pro, Hunter Pro. Works great. I love it. I wish I'd known about these sooner, because the other good thing about this is the raccoons get up. They can't get in there. They've got nowhere to hold on from other than my solar panel. My solar panel cable is right here, right? So they get up here, they really got nothing to grip onto. All right, so the other cool feature about this one, as I mentioned earlier, is that you have Bluetooth Wi-Fi capability. Something I'm not going to be able to test for you though is that if you have a Moultrie cellular cam, which is basically a trail cam that is cellular, so you can see it from anywhere in the world, and it is within Wi-Fi Bluetooth distance of this device, you can actually control it from there as well. Check to see what the estimated feed time is and other information as well. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to share my screen here, and we are screen recording, and I've got the Moultrie app installed on my phone already. Set up a free account with Moultrie. No subscription required to run this device, but if you get the trail cams, you do have to get a subscription on that. And it actually automatically asks if I wanted to add a device. So it's picking it up automatically. I'm going to hit add device to my account. I didn't have to do anything other than launch the app. And it appears to be running. And it brought up the maps. I'm not sure if it defaulted to map or that's the last thing that I looked at. But pretty cool. Check this out. So it's still connecting to the device. Gives me Pro Hunter 3 1589, which is the model number. There is a firmware update available, which I'll do that at the end. Feed time scheduler. There we go. So it has my feed time. Actually, it's not showing my feed times. It's asking if I would like to set up feed times. Right now it's on custom. But apparently you can set it 7 a.m. Sunday through Saturday high. That's what I've got. Interesting. So you can set it for sunrise set. Your feeder will run every day at the end of local sunrise and sunset. Oh my Lord. Pin feeder location. Let's do that right there. I'm gonna name this. Does it let me name it? No. Notes. Little D. Little D feeder. Done. Save. Based on GPS location, this device and this feeder are going to know what time sun up and sundown are, which is awesome. This feeder setting can only be changed. It disappeared, I guess, while you're in range is what it said, which makes sense. I love that. I had no idea that this had that option, but this is going to be awesome because I am always coming out here to update the times on all my other feeders to match sunrise and sunset because that's when I hunt. Don't have to do that anymore, so that's pretty sweet. So let's go back, see what other features we've got here. And we're connecting to the device again. Looks like it has to reload every time you come back to this screen. There is a feed on demand option, which basically means you can trigger the feeder, which I'm going to hit that option, 8 seconds, high. Okay, so you can pick how long you want to run for and what speed you want it to run at. I'm going to go ahead and hit feed now. That was an 8-second spray. Pretty cool that we can do that. And what I'm going to do before we wrap this video up is I'm going to go all the way down to my blind, which is exactly 100 yards away, to see if it'll reach. As long as you're within range, it's supposed to work, and 100 yards is supposed to be good. Feed level estimator. I did not enter the amount of feed that I put in there, so the estimator is not giving me an estimate. But I put about 5 to 6 bags of feed in here. I don't recall it was 40 pound or 50 pound, but that is a 55-gallon drum. Had I entered that number at the time of setting it up, it would give me an estimated time of feed that's in there based on how long it's running and how often it's running. I will work on that another day. Health check. Exactly what it is, or what it says it is. It's going to give you the health, so it's probably going to show you battery function and everything else. Let's see what it says. Connecting to device. Basically the battery life. So strength is good, which we're good. And details, what's in details, it's giving you information on the software. And we'll go into settings. Settings is your feeder name. Here's where I'm going to name this little d. Little d feeder. Now the reason I'm doing that, save changes, is because I will be placing another one of these down another trail that is also about 130 yards away from that same blind I'm going to be setting at, so I can identify which is which. That's why I wanted to name it. And that's pretty much it. So we got maps. It's going to show you exactly where we're located. Gallery is going to be for cameras, which I don't have. And let's go into more. Let's see what's under the more option. Oh, that's pretty cool. So activity. So it's not going to show me activity because that's for cameras. Weather. So it's going to give you sunrise and sunset, which is pretty cool because I can now just pull this up instead of waiting for a weather app to load up. And I know what time to get here before this feeder goes off because those should be synced up. Got wind direction, wind speed, wind gusts. All this is correct. You actually have hourly weather as well, which is pretty sweet to have. And daily. So as you can tell, pretty darn hot here in South Texas. We're going to hit 96 degrees today, 93 tomorrow. Finally starting to cool off. We're going to get into the 80s by next week, next Saturday. But keep in mind that we are in the middle of October. So it's going to be hot for a while. We probably won't get a nice cool front until November, December. So it looks like those are all the features. No, I take it back. There's a game plan option in here. Access to this feature isn't managed here. Not sure where that's managed, but that's probably going to be with your cameras and subscription service. And then Deer Survey, I would imagine it's going to be with the cameras as well. Because I don't have a camera, I can't do any of that information. We have access to other information, so messages, notifications, camera sharing, Onyx connection, so it's going to connect to Onyx, preferences, manuals, remove camera folders. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do in here, but it looks like most of it is going to be related to your cameras. So that's the feeder. Works pretty cool. Let's go down 100 yards and see if it'll spray. Oh, sitting the steps. And again, we are 100 yards away. And it looks like I still have a connection. Not sharing my screen anymore, but you guys got the idea. And let's hit that feed now button. Oh, camera almost fell over with the wind. Feed now. Feeder will run shortly. Waiting. It says out of Bluetooth range. Move closer. So maybe I'm too low. I'm sitting kind of close to the ground. Let's try standing up. All right. This is about the height that I would be at if I stuck my hand out the window. Let's try that again. Feed now. It says in range of phone. It pops up. Still running. Still waiting. Come on now. I have high hopes for you. Still says in range up at the top there. Not sure if you can see that. But it's picking the feeder up, and that's probably the Wi-Fi option. But Bluetooth does not seem to be connecting. All right. I'm going to start walking closer to see if it goes off at some point. Oh, it says connecting to device. It says unable to connect. Continue. Let me get closer. Now it says in range of phone again. Well, I'm a good 20 yards away from my feeder, from my blind, which is not good. I got to test this again early in the morning, because I do notice that radio signals are typically better early in the morning when there's more moisture in the air. This is not making a connection at all. I'm going to quit the app, launch the app again, see if it'll make a connection from here. I'd say we are probably a good 50 to 60 yards from it now. Going in, picking the feeder, connecting to device. So we're making a connection at about maybe 60 yards. It says in range of phone. It appears to have made a connection, but the feed now option is still spinning. So I'm going to do a software update to this and give this one more shot. All right, I am by the feeder now. Once I got close to it, it started doing the update. You literally just hit a update now option. It did give me a message saying keep phone near device and keep the door open. And it does say on it now OTA, which stands for over the air, signifying that it is doing an update as it should be. Unfortunately, we get bad cell coverage here back at the ranch. I'm actually on LTE on my phone, not 5G, so it says about 5 minutes total, and we are at 4 minutes in remaining. So I'll be back with you in 4 minutes. All right, that software update is complete. Took about 5 minutes total, so the timing was accurate. Let's see if that fixed the Bluetooth range connectivity. I'm gonna walk all the way back down 100 yards. I'll be with you when I'm back on the steps. Okay, we are back at the blind, and I'm going to do this standing on the steps this time. Give it a fair chance and be at the height that I would be if I was in the blind, with my hand out the window. Launching the Moultrie app. Make sure that Bluetooth and Wi-Fi are on, which they are. Going into devices. Selecting the little D feeder. Let's see if it makes a connection. It says connecting to device. Oh, we've got connection. It says feed time ready. Let's hit feed now. Feeder will run shortly. Please wait. It didn't go off. You're out of Bluetooth range. Move closer. So 100 yards doesn't work. I'm not going to try any closer simply because that won't benefit me any. But now you know that 100 yards is not going to work for Bluetooth connectivity. But if you've got that Moultrie app, the cellular cam nearby, you should be good to go, because that'll be a cellular connection, not a Bluetooth connection. So the Bluetooth actually would go from the camera to the feeder. But that is the Moultrie Pro Hunter 3. Pretty good considering all the features it has. Unfortunately, that one feature is not going to work for me. Again, if you guys like that, you think you'd benefit from one that is directional or broadcast or any of their other products, because you've got some better ones than that, click the link below. It'll take you directly to the Moultrie Amazon page. Anything you buy from there will help support the channel. Again, not affiliated with Moultrie. I just like their products. So thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. I'm back at the ranch. Y'all take care.